In recent times, consumers worldwide have witnessed a steady rise in prices across various goods and services. From groceries to gasoline, the cost of living seems to be escalating without reprieve. Many are left wondering why prices aren't going back down, despite expectations of a return to pre-pandemic norms. Several factors contribute to this phenomenon, encompassing both short-term disruptions and long-term structural shifts in the global economy. Number 5. Supply chain disruptions. Supply chain disruptions have emerged as a critical factor in the sustained price increases witnessed across various industries in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. The global economy relies heavily on intricate networks of suppliers, manufacturers, distributors, and retailers to deliver goods to consumers. However, the pandemic unleashed a cascade of disruptions that reverberated throughout these supply chains, disrupting the flow of goods and driving up costs. Manufacturing delays were among the earliest and most pronounced effects of the pandemic on supply chains. Lockdowns, social distancing measures, and workforce shortages compelled many factories to scale back or suspend operations altogether. This interruption in production cascaded down the supply chain, leading to shortages of critical components and finished goods. As economies reopen, manufacturers continue to grapple with the backlog caused by these disruptions, further constraining supply and contributing to price inflation. Transportation bottlenecks compounded the challenges posed by manufacturing delays. Restrictions on movement, reduced capacity, and logistical hurdles disrupted global transportation networks, delaying the delivery of goods and driving up shipping costs. Container shortages and port congestion became common occurrences, prolonging lead times and exacerbating supply chain disruptions. Even as travel restrictions ease and trade volumes rebound, these logistical challenges persist, impeding the efficient movement of goods and contributing to price pressures. Labor shortages represent another dimension of supply chain disruptions that exacerbate price increases. The pandemic-induced economic downturn prompted layoffs, furloughs, and workforce attrition across industries, leading to a shortage of skilled and unskilled labor. As businesses resume operations and demand rebounds, they struggle to attract and retain workers, leading to wage inflation and increased production costs. These higher labor costs are often passed on to consumers in the form of higher prices for goods and services. Number 4. Increased demand. Simultaneously with supply chain disruptions, increased demand has emerged as another significant factor exacerbating price pressures in various sectors. As economies gradually reopen and vaccination efforts gain traction, consumer confidence has rebounded, leading to a surge in pent-up demand across multiple industries. The prolonged periods of lockdown and restricted movement during the pandemic created a backlog of consumer needs and desires. As restrictions ease, consumers are eager to resume normal activities, whether it be dining out, traveling, or making discretionary purchases they had postponed. This surge in demand outpaces the ability of businesses to swiftly ramp up production or services, creating a demand-supply imbalance that drives prices upward. Consumer behavior plays a crucial role in this scenario. With a renewed sense of optimism and pent-up desire, consumers are more willing to pay higher prices to secure desired goods and services, further fueling inflationary pressures. Moreover, heightened competition among consumers for limited goods and services amplifies this effect, allowing sellers to maintain elevated prices and even implement price increases without fear of losing customers. Industries particularly affected by increased demand include hospitality, travel, and leisure, which experienced a sharp decline during the pandemic but are now witnessing a rapid resurgence in consumer activity. This surge in demand, coupled with capacity constraints resulting from ongoing health and safety measures, leads to higher prices for accommodations, flights, and entertainment options. Number 3. Wage inflation. Wage inflation represents a significant factor contributing to sustained price levels in the current economic landscape. As labor shortages persist and demand for workers across various industries remains robust, employers find themselves in a position where they must offer higher wages to attract and retain talent. This phenomenon stems from several factors, including the mismatch between available job opportunities and the skills of the workforce, demographic shifts, and changes in consumer preferences. In response to these labor market dynamics, employers raise wages as a means to compete for scarce talent. Higher wages not only serve as an incentive for workers to enter or re-enter the labor force, but also play a crucial role in retaining existing employees who may be enticed by better-paying opportunities elsewhere. This upward pressure on wages, driven by both labor market dynamics and legislative measures such as minimum wage increases, leads to wage inflation across the economy. However, the flip side of wage inflation is that it contributes to overall production costs for businesses. When employers pay higher wages to their employees, they incur increased operational expenses, which are often passed on to consumers in the form of elevated prices for goods and services. This phenomenon is particularly evident in industries with high labor intensity, such as retail, hospitality, and healthcare, where labor costs constitute a significant portion of total expenses. Moreover, wage inflation can also have knock-on effects on broader inflationary pressures within the economy. As businesses raise prices to offset higher labor costs, consumers experience a decline in purchasing power, leading to a reduction in real wages. This erosion of purchasing power can further fuel inflationary expectations, prompting businesses to raise prices in anticipation of future cost increases, thus perpetuating a cycle of wage price spirals. Number 2. Structural changes in the economy. Beyond the immediate disruptions caused by the pandemic, structural changes in the economy have exerted a profound influence on pricing dynamics, reshaping various facets of commerce and consumer behavior. The pandemic acted as a catalyst for accelerating existing trends such as digitalization, remote work, and e-commerce adoption, fundamentally altering the way businesses operate and interact with consumers. The rapid shift to remote work and digital communication platforms during the pandemic has transformed consumer behavior and expectations. With more people working and socializing from home, there has been a surge in online shopping and digital services consumption. This shift to digital channels has not only expanded the reach of businesses but has also introduced new pricing models and strategies tailored to the online environment. Companies invest in technology to enhance their online presence, streamline operations, and personalize customer experiences, thereby reshaping pricing dynamics to align with evolving consumer preferences. Furthermore, the accelerated adoption of e-commerce has disrupted traditional retail models and supply chains, leading to changes in pricing strategies and distribution channels. Brick-and-mortar retailers face increasing competition from online marketplaces and direct-to-consumer brands, compelling them to adapt their pricing strategies to remain competitive. Moreover, the rise of platform-based business models and third-party sellers has introduced greater price transparency and price competition, forcing businesses to recalibrate their pricing strategies to maintain profitability while meeting consumer demands. Supply chains have also undergone significant transformation in response to the pandemic and broader structural shifts in the economy. The disruptions caused by the pandemic exposed vulnerabilities in global supply chains, prompting businesses to reassess their sourcing strategies and diversify their supplier base. Companies invest in technology and data analytics to optimize supply chain management, enhance visibility and agility, and mitigate risks associated with disruptions. These efforts, while essential for improving resilience and operational efficiency, may entail higher costs that are passed on to consumers through pricing adjustments. Number 1. Global economic forces. Additionally, global economic forces play a significant role in sustaining price levels across various industries. Geopolitical tensions, trade policies, and currency fluctuations exert considerable influence on the cost of imports and exports, directly impacting pricing dynamics. Uncertainty stemming from geopolitical conflicts or trade disputes can disrupt supply chains, leading to shortages or delays in the availability of goods. Furthermore, fluctuations in currency exchange rates can affect the cost of imported raw materials or finished products, influencing pricing decisions by businesses. The vulnerabilities exposed by the pandemic in global supply chains have prompted nations to reassess their trade relationships and pursue measures to enhance resilience. Governments and businesses alike are increasingly focused on diversifying sourcing locations, reducing dependence on single suppliers or regions, and strengthening domestic production capabilities to mitigate supply chain risks. However, these efforts often entail upfront investments in infrastructure, technology, and workforce training, which may translate into higher production costs for businesses. Trade policies implemented by governments can also impact pricing dynamics by imposing tariffs, quotas, or other trade barriers that affect the cost of imported goods. Trade tensions between major economies can lead to retaliatory measures, disrupting supply chains and driving up costs for businesses and consumers. Moreover, changes in trade agreements or regulations can create uncertainty for businesses, influencing investment decisions and pricing strategies. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insightful content. Stay tuned for our next video.